Hello and welcome to freelywhole Creative. I'm Liberty, your life restoration and creativity coach from freelywhole.com, where we're making beauty from ashes as we rebuild our lives and provide soul care through creativity. Today we're doing some healing self-therapy through a Neurographica style drawing. And I'm not going to take the time to explain all the backgrounds of whys in this video. I have posted an introductory article at freelywhole.com, and this video goes along with part 2 of that article series. But I do want to preface the video with this. Art is a way to release your feelings, emotions, and thoughts without words. Sometimes we just can't express in words what we want to say or our feelings, and we all know that a picture paints 1,000 words. So this type of art therapy is based on neuroscience and activating the brain pathways for healing and growth. Whether you're wanting to rewire your brain post-trauma or abuse, or calm fears and anxieties, or expand your mindset for personal growth, or even just reduce daily stress and enjoy some calming creative time, I think you'll enjoy and benefit from this exercise. If you're dealing with severe trauma, this does not replace counseling from your trauma-educated therapist. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and go back and watch the past ones. Most of my creativity videos are in journal making and paper crafts, but you never know what type of creativity soul care I'll come up with next. Now, join me on the journey and let's create. The supplies you need for this project are very simple. Not even a paper cutter or glue. Just plain paper, a pencil, colored pencils, and maybe a Sharpie marker. And you might want some flat, small, round object, like a coin or a button. For more details and options, again, check out the intro article. Today we're going to be doing an express drawing. This is one that can be completed in about 30 minutes as an introduction to this type of soul care. So I'll be using a blank index card. You could also use a sticky note or even just a piece of copy paper cut into quarters. So grab your supplies and let's prepare to create, not for the purpose of the product of a beautiful art piece, but the process of rewiring our brains to bring peace, healing, and wholeness. Again, see the article that goes with this video for more modalities that we can add in while we do this that will bring even more healing benefit. Let's get started by feet flat on the floor, your hands on the paper holding your pencil. Take a few deep breaths. In and out. In and out. In and out. As you're doing this, think about the issue, the conflict, the challenge that you're facing, or whatever the issue is that's bringing you stress, frustration, anxiety, fear, anger, or grief. Now let all of those feelings go from your brain into your hand and release them. This is called a cathartic scribble. Now take another deep breath. And next we are going to create neurolines. These are the free-flowing lines that resemble the neurons in our brains. A neuroline isn't straight, it doesn't repeat itself, it has no pattern, and it goes where we don't expect. To me, it's like a flowing stream. These are neurolines. These are not. So we want to take every line that has an end and extend it out to the edge, just in a free-flowing stream. If you have trouble wanting to control your line, grab a coin or a button and push it along to lose the control of the line that you're drawing. 3 things about neurolines. You want them to be free-flowing, but they are not mindless. You don't just close your eyes and go wherever, but you notice what you're doing. Next, they do the unexpected. So if your brain tries to control and says, go right, instead, make your hand go left or up or down. We want the unexpected here. And the other thing is that each line should go to the edge of the paper. So any ends of lines, we want to do narrow lines that go to the end of the paper. And any other places, maybe where things are rounded, we see another line in there. And just continue to do your narrow lines until you've added as many as you want. Or by the time you get done, this original drawing should be kind of lost or dissolved within the narrow lines that you've drawn. You can draw as many narrow lines as you want, because these are your thoughts or processes on the topic that you're drawing. So I will finish my narrow lines and we will be back. Okay, are you done drawing your narrow lines, and has your original catharsis image been kind of dissolved within that? Obviously, its lines are going to be straighter than your narrow lines, so you're probably still going to see it to some degree at this point, but it should be integrated into your narrow lines at this point. The next step is called rounding. Sharp corners represent conflict, even danger. We want to smooth them out. We want to take every angle, every V that is formed by intersections of lines, and we want to turn them into a U. To me, these are like interstate intersections, where they've taken the crossroads and they've turned them into curved on-ramps and off-ramps. So the areas that we curve, we are going to color them in, but we don't want them to just look like a big black blob on the paper. So we want to smooth them into our lines. And as you do that, that's how your catharsis will get even more smoothed out. So we want this line to be a smooth part of the integration of putting our rounding lines in. So go over your lines if you need to get them nice and smooth. And in your brain, you are smoothing your problem. You're creating new connections and perspectives and solutions. So let's start on working on smoothing our lines. And I usually like to do that with a fine line Sharpie or a micro pen. You can keep using your pencil though. No reason that you can't. So I am smoothing every place that there is an intersection by turning it from a V into a U and coloring in the spot where they meet, and then smoothing that line out. And if it's a straight line, I may be smoothing it by making it a little more crooked, more like my stream flowing. Now you might miss some of your intersections, and that's okay. You can go back and get them later, but just go through and working on rounding all of those out for now. And then we'll be back and do the next part. Our next step, after you've got all your rounding done, is just to look at your image. No judgment, no expectation, but just observe. Do you see any circles or other shapes that really stand out to you? Again, the circle is harmony and peace. It's resolving the conflict of our situation. This is where I pull in a more bold Sharpie to draw these in. And I see a couple of circle type elements in my image here. So I'm going to draw them in. And we want these to be organic circles, not perfect circles. Life isn't perfect. And then the next thing we're going to do is go back and round any further corners or angles that these circles created. Again, just looking for any place that created a sharp angle and turning that into more of a U shape. Again, we're just mentally smoothing out the rough edges of life. Did you get all your new angles rounded? I think I've gotten all of mine. We'll see as I continue on. But our next step is integration. And this is where we're going to color our image. We want to do this intuitively. Generally, you want at least 3 different colors. On this small express size, you might only use 2, but generally 3. And you're not going to color each segment, but you're going to color across the lines and coloring again at least 3 different segments. We're bringing the parts together and integrating them, creating new perspectives. You want to color at least 70% of your image. You can color the entire thing like I did there, or you can leave some white spaces. That's totally up to you. But we're creating new ideas and new possibilities in our lives as we do this. And again, just intuitively coloring, pick up whatever colors feel good to you to use at the moment for whatever sections you prefer. You can use shading if you want to highlight different sections. Another thing I didn't mention is that all of these neurolines representing our thoughts and the processes also are things outside of ourself. These are our resources and our help that we have to look to. As you're coloring, you may notice that you have some blank spaces that you'd like to add some neurolines into. And I'm going to add a few of those into my drawing here. Again, if you add more lines, be sure you round any intersections. And as you're coloring, you may also notice places where you haven't rounded intersections. Once you're done with your coloring, again, just observe. Take a look at your drawing and just observe what is there. Do you see any further shapes, any further circles that stand out? Again, you can highlight those. You can draw them in. Again, the circles showing harmony and peace, so that's a key thing to look for in there. And again, my 2 circles that I've already done that on, you can either do them before you're coloring or after. And the final thing we're going to do is called field lines. And this is making 2 or 3 bolder lines through our drawing that connect us to the outside. These are more bold, more powerful lines, and they represent the support and guidance that we have as we go through this. These are the lines that hold everything together. And they go across the whole drawing from one edge to the other, usually ascending. And to me, these lines represent God. It's His Holy Spirit. They represent how He comes from extended on eternity, and He comes through and holds everything together. He is the power that works in us, around us, through us, and again is bringing stability and answers to us. After you draw these fixation or these field lines, again, you want to round any corners that might be created. So these can follow your neuro lines, or they can be a line in their own. One thing you may notice, Sharpies don't always do the best at going over colored pencils. A pit pen, Faber-Castell pit pen might be a better option there, but again, we're just drawing these bolder lines in. We are rounding any places that we have sharp, harsh intersections. And our neurographic styled art therapy type piece is finished. Maybe or maybe not. You can come back and do some highlighting or bolden more lines, look for more shapes, whatever you want in there. But you're basically done and complete now with your drawing. So notice your breath. Have you been able to keep up with a more deep and relaxing breath pattern? Notice your heartbeat. Is it calm and steady? Notice your level of stress reduction. Where was it when you started, and where is it now? Take a couple more deep breaths. In and out, in and out, and enjoy your drawing and the relaxation and stress reduction it has helped with. Thank you for joining me on our creative journey today. I hope you were inspired by this project, and that you'll subscribe, like, and comment here, and share this project with your friends, as well as sharing your creations with us. We want to see your take on this. The links are in the post for my sharing page. Now, go make beauty from ashes, and may your life be freely whole.